Hi everyone. This is the first of two videos about harmony. I'm going to talk you through some of the basic terms, explain them, and give you a few basic demonstrations of what various aspects of harmony sound like. First of all, remember that harmony is two or more pitches happening at the same time. So, if I play these three pitches, let me try that once again. I'm playing those pitches melodically. I'm playing them one at a time. If I play them all together, I have a chord. In this case, this is a C major chord. A chord that has three notes in it is called a triad. Most popular music uses triadic harmony, simple sounding harmony with just three chords. If I play just two notes at a time, melodically or harmonically, that's called an interval. So this interval are notes, scale pitches right next to one another. If I play the first and second ones together, that interval is called a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, so on. And when we reach 8, we call it an octave. Now, our system of harmony is built on stacking up thirds. So, the simple triad that I played before has 1, 3, and 5. And our system of harmony, which we have been using, which we're accustomed to hearing, goes back about 600 or 700 years as far as we have a written record. So, what can happen with these intervals is we can make them slightly larger or slightly smaller. We can play around with them to create different chords, different harmonies, to create different moods. So, this particular set of three notes, this is a major triad. It's got a nice upbeat sound. If I'm writing music that I want to sound positive, happy, majestic, something like that, I'm probably going to use major chords. If I'm writing something a little more downcast, I'm going to take this middle note and I'm going to lower it by a 1/2 step. If I play the three notes together now I have a minor triad. Most of our music is in either major or minor keys. So we can have a sequence of harmonies, a chord progression that will be in a particular key. Here's a short example. So that's a sequence of 4 triads, 3-note chords. Starts at a nice place of rest, moves away, and comes back. That's the progression that most popular music uses, and many other kinds of music. That is adding a little bit of tension and then releasing it by returning to the same sound. So, the chord progression I just played for you is a very basic, a very simple one. Different kinds of music have different levels of complexity, different levels of involvement. Jazz is something that uses more complex harmony, at least in some of its forms. A complete chord progression in a jazz tune, we call that a chorus. Chorus is a musical term that we have a number of different definitions for. And since melody in jazz is improvised, it's spontaneous, form in jazz is created by repetitions of this sequence of harmonies, this chord progression. Now, the next two terms are very important: consonance and dissonance. When notes go together nicely, we call that consonance or consonant harmony. If I use different intervals, fifth is a nice consonant interval, an octave, also quite consonant, major seventh. These notes kind of grate against one another. This is what dissonance sounds like. It's called a minor ninth. That's an even more dissonant interval. The reason some of these intervals sound pleasant and some do not is because the physical relationship between the pitches, the speeds of vibration, are very simple to deduce. If I play these two notes, the speed of vibration of this one is exactly twice that of that one. All right, so it's pretty easy for our brains to decode 1 and 2. If it's a little bit off from that, now we've got to work a little bit harder to make sense of that in a sort of subconscious way. So the flow, the intensity of the harmony, how consonant or how dissonant it is a very important device that composers use in creating tension and release in their pieces. So I played you a short progression in the key of C. Many composers will modulate. They will change their music from one key area to another in the middle of a piece as it goes along. Another way they have of adding variety to their music. Popular singers sometimes will modulate to a higher key so that they're singing their strongest, most impressive sounding high notes at the end of a tune. That's a pretty common device in vocal popular music. Counterpoint, multiple lines of music played at the same time. You've already heard a couple examples of that, and you'll hear another one in today's listening. Atonality is a term I'm going to return to in the second video. Here is just a bit more about harmony and an introduction to the first of the two pieces I'd like you to listen to, maybe take some notes on, and write short remarks about for me. You will see that it's just called a chord progression. You see the names of the 4 chords there after the number 1. D minor 7 sounds like this. G7 with a flat 9. It's an interesting sounding chord. All right. The others you will hear because this is played repetitively. The reason I've picked this piece of music is because it has no real melody. It's much easier for you to hear the harmony. And harmony very often is submerged underneath rhythm, lyrics, melody, things that come much more readily to our ears. So this particular tune, which is used as a teaching device for people to practice improvising, the harmony is very prominent. It should be easy for you to hear it. And you see what I'd like you to write about. Please be specific in your comments about answering those portions of this assignment. The second piece has simpler harmony, triadic harmony. Remember, that means each of the chords has 3 voices. This is a piece I expect some of you will recognize. It's a very well-known piece. It's used for ceremonial functions, weddings in particular, quite a bit. The presentation of the music is very straightforward. Like the first piece, there is a repetition of a chord progression. However, this sounds very different. The instrumentation is different, the tempo is different, and the texture of the music is also different. So you see what I'd like you to write about here as well. So both of these pieces of music, are pretty much easy listening. Listen to them, they're not very long. Listen a couple of times to each one. Take some notes, organize your thoughts in terms of what I'd like you to write about, and enjoy listening to them. And I'll speak to you again very soon. Thanks.